90-Day Fiancé's Michael Ilasami reveals ruthless message for Angela Deem amid legal battle after leaving her filthy home. 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, star Michael Ilasami has finally found his voice, and he's no longer holding back. As the ongoing legal battle between Michael and Angela Deem continues behind the scenes, Michael is making it clear that he is done being silent, done being controlled, and done living in fear. This time, instead of loud arguments or explosive interviews, Michael chose something far more powerful, a subtle yet ruthless message that speaks volumes about where he stands emotionally and mentally after leaving Angela's home and toxic grip for good. For years, fans of the 90-Day Fiancé franchise watched Michael endure what many believe was relentless emotional abuse, public humiliation, and strict control at the hands of Angela Deem. Their relationship was often chaotic, uncomfortable, and disturbing to watch. Angela's explosive temper, harsh language, and domineering behavior frequently overshadowed Michael's calm and patient demeanor. Yet, despite everything, Michael stayed, until he didn't. Now, as Michael celebrates his second Christmas in America, his life looks dramatically different from the dark days he spent trapped in Angela's small-town home. Michael, originally from Nigeria, officially arrived in the United States in December 2023, fulfilling a dream that took years of paperwork, long-distance heartbreak, and relentless scrutiny. However, what was supposed to be a new beginning quickly turned into what Michael later described as a nightmare. Instead of finding peace, stability, and partnership, Michael found himself living in an environment he would eventually accuse Angela of making hostile, controlling, and unsafe. At the time, Michael lived with Angela in Hazelhurst, Georgia, a small, rural town far removed from the freedom and independence he had imagined. The home was crowded and chaotic, shared not only with Angela, but also with her daughters, Scotty and Skyla Deem, along with their 6 children. The lack of privacy, constant tension, and Angela's unpredictable behavior reportedly made daily life unbearable for Michael. Michael later accused Angela of cruel treatment, claiming that she constantly monitored his movements, restricted his communication, and verbally attacked him both privately and publicly. Viewers had already witnessed Angela screaming at Michael on camera, destroying his belongings, and repeatedly threatening him with deportation. But behind closed doors, Michael suggests the situation was even worse. Eventually, Michael did something that shocked everyone. He left. When news broke that Michael had gone missing from Angela's home, speculation exploded across social media. Angela immediately took control of the narrative, accusing Michael of scamming her, using her for a green card, and disappearing without explanation. But as time passed, Michael slowly began revealing his side of the story, and fans listened. By December 2024, Michael was no longer hiding. Instead, he was thriving. Michael currently appears to be living independently in Houston, Texas, far away from Hazelhurst and even farther from Angela's control. His new apartment is described by fans as cozy, modern, and peaceful, a stark contrast to the chaotic environment he left behind. For the first time, Michael seems to be living life on his own terms. This Christmas, Michael is not surrounded by screaming matches or tension-filled silence. Instead, he is celebrating the holiday with friends he now considers his chosen family. These friends, many of whom stood by him when Angela publicly attacked his character, have become his support system in America. Michael has openly expressed gratitude for these people, stating that they helped him rebuild his confidence, independence, and sense of self after escaping what many fans call a deeply toxic relationship. As he looks ahead to 2025, Michael isn't just thinking about survival anymore. He's thinking about growth, happiness, and peace. Recently, Michael shared a reel on his Instagram stories that instantly caught fans' attention. At first glance, the post seemed harmless, even humorous, but for those who know Michael's journey and his history with Angela, the message was unmistakable. The reel, originally posted by @WomenInspireChange, features a classic scene from Seinfeld. In the clip, Elaine Bass, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is seen making a toast during a Peterman Company party in the 1996 episode titled The Little Kicks. With a glass raised and a confident smile, Elaine declares, "Here's to those who wish us well, and those who don't can go to hell." She then bursts into laughter, completely unbothered. For Michael, this quote wasn't just funny, it was personal. By reposting the clip, Michael delivered what fans immediately recognized as a ruthless, indirect message aimed squarely at Angela Deem. Without mentioning her name, without starting another public argument, Michael made it clear he no longer cares about her opinions, threats, or attempts to control his narrative. The message resonated deeply with fans, many of whom have supported Michael throughout 2024. In fact, Michael has made it clear that his biggest gratitude this year is toward his supporters, people who defended him when Angela accused him of being a scammer, a cheater, and a manipulator. For years, Michael forced Michael to stay away from social media. She claimed it was because she didn't trust him and feared he would cheat. However, many fans now believe there was another motive behind that demand. Angela didn't want Michael to see the overwhelming number of comments calling out her abusive behavior. Once Michael regained control of his online presence, he finally saw the truth. People believed him. Fans rallied behind Michael, even organizing GoFundMe donations to help him start over after leaving Angela's home. While Angela attempted to shame him for allegedly using that money to buy a car or accusing him of having a new girlfriend in America, supporters didn't care. To them, Michael had earned every bit of help after years of emotional suffering. Fans repeatedly stated that Michael deserved happiness, stability, and freedom, things he was denied for far too long. Now, with Angela no longer controlling his movements, finances, or voice, Michael appears more confident than ever. His recent Instagram activity shows a man who is peaceful but no longer passive. While he usually spreads positivity, motivational quotes, and gratitude, he hasn't shied away from posting passive-aggressive content that subtly calls out his past pain, and fans are here for it. Michael seems fully aware that Angela no longer has power over him. He appears confident that she cannot harm him legally, emotionally, or immigration-wise. Despite Angela's repeated threats in the past, Michael is now secure in his status and future in the United States. America is no longer just a destination for Michael, it is his home. As 2024 comes to an end, Michael Ilsami stands as a completely different man from the one viewers first met on 90 Day Fiancé. He is no longer apologizing for existing, no longer begging for approval, and no longer trapped in fear. And if Angela Deem is watching, Michael's message is clear. He's free, he's thriving, and he's done caring. 90 Day Fiancé's Michael Ilsami reveals ruthless message for Angela Deem amid legal battle after leaving her filthy home. 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After star Michael Ilsami has finally found his voice, and this time it's louder than any argument, stronger than any scream, and far more devastating than any confrontation Angela Deem could have anticipated. After years of silence, submission, and survival, Michael is no longer holding back. As the ongoing legal battle between Michael and Angela continues quietly behind the scenes, one thing is now painfully clear. Michael is finished being controlled, finished being intimidated, and finished living his life in fear. This time, Michael didn't raise his voice. He didn't do an interview. He didn't call anyone out by name. Instead, he delivered something far more powerful, a subtle, ruthless, and emotionally loaded message that spoke volumes about where he stands today after finally escaping Angela's toxic grip and walking away from the chaotic, suffocating home that once held him prisoner. For longtime fans of the 90 Day Fiancé franchise, Michael's transformation feels surreal. For years, viewers watched him endure what many now openly call one of the most disturbing relationship dynamics ever shown on reality television. The relationship between Michael Ilesanmi and Angela Deem was rarely romantic, often explosive, and frequently uncomfortable to witness. While the show attempted to frame their storyline as dramatic entertainment, many viewers felt it crossed a far darker line. Angela's explosive temper, relentless verbal attacks, humiliating public outbursts, and obsessive need for control consistently overshadowed Michael's calm, respectful, and patient demeanor. Michael was often portrayed as the submissive partner, apologizing even when he had done nothing wrong, lowering his voice to avoid conflict, and sacrificing his dignity in the hope of keeping the peace. And yet, despite the chaos, despite the red flags, despite the emotional scars, Michael stayed. Until he didn't. Now, as Michael celebrates his second Christmas in America, his life looks unrecognizable compared to the dark, oppressive days he spent trapped inside Angela's small-town home, a place many fans now describe not just as chaotic, but emotionally unsafe. Michael, originally from Nigeria, officially arrived in the United States in December 2023, marking the end of a long, exhausting immigration journey that took years of paperwork, interviews, setbacks, public scrutiny, and emotional strain. For Michael, America represented hope, freedom, opportunity, and the promise of a stable partnership with the woman he believed he loved. But that dream shattered quickly. What should have been a fresh start turned into what Michael would later describe as a living nightmare. Instead of peace, he found constant tension. Instead of partnership, he found domination. Instead of love, he found fear. Michael moved into Angela's home in Hazelhurst, Georgia, a small rural town that felt worlds away from the independence and new beginnings he had imagined. The house itself was crowded, noisy, and overwhelming. It wasn't just Angela and Michael. The home was also shared with Angela's daughters, Scotty and Skyla Deem, along with their 6 children. Privacy was non-existent. Peace was rare. Control was constant. Daily life became a relentless cycle of tension, accusations, and emotional instability. Michael has since claimed that Angela monitored his movements obsessively, questioned his every interaction, and restricted his access to communication. According to Michael, he was treated less like a husband and more like a possession, someone who had to ask permission to exist. Fans had already seen Angela scream at Michael on camera, destroy his belongings, insult him in public, and repeatedly threaten him with deportation whenever she felt challenged. But Michael has suggested that what viewers witnessed was only a fraction of the reality. Behind closed doors, the situation was allegedly even worse. Michael claims Angela used fear as a weapon. Fear of being sent back to Nigeria, fear of homelessness, fear of public humiliation, and fear of retaliation. Over time, Michael became quieter, smaller, and emotionally drained. His once hopeful demeanor faded into survival mode. Then, one day, he left. When news broke that Michael had gone missing from Angela's home, the internet exploded. Speculation ran wild across social media platforms. Angela immediately rushed to control the narrative, accusing Michael of scamming her, using her for a green card, and disappearing without explanation. Her interviews were loud, emotional, and accusatory, exactly what fans had come to expect. But something was different this time. Michael didn't respond right away, and when he finally did, people listened. As weeks passed, pieces of Michael's story began to surface. Slowly, carefully, and with increasing confidence, Michael began sharing his truth. By December 2024, there was no question. Michael was no longer hiding. He was thriving. Michael is now believed to be living independently in Houston, Texas, hundreds of miles away from Hazelhurst and even farther from Angela's control. Fans who have followed his journey describe his new apartment as cozy, clean, modern, and calm, a peaceful sanctuary compared to the chaotic environment he escaped. For the first time since arriving in America, Michael appears to be living life on his own terms. This Christmas looks nothing like the last one. Instead of screaming matches, slammed doors, and constant anxiety, Michael is surrounded by friends, people he now calls his chosen family. These individuals stood by him when Angela publicly attacked his character and attempted to destroy his reputation. They offered him support, safety, and belief when he needed it most. Michael has openly expressed gratitude for these people, crediting them with helping him rebuild his confidence, independence, and sense of self after years of emotional erosion. For Michael, these friendships aren't just social, they are healing. As he looks toward 2025, Michael is no longer focused solely on survival. He's thinking about growth, stability, happiness, and peace, things he was denied for far too long. Then came the message. Recently, Michael shared a reel on his Instagram stories that immediately caught fans' attention. At first glance, it seemed harmless, even funny, but for those who understand Michael's journey and his painful history with Angela, the message was unmistakable. The reel, originally posted by @WomenInspireChange, featured a classic scene from Seinfeld. In the clip, Elaine Bennis, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, raises a glass during a company party and confidently declares, "Here's to those who wish us well, and those who don't can go to H." She laughs, she smiles, she doesn't care. For Michael, this wasn't just humor, it was a declaration. By reposting the clip, Michael delivered a ruthless, indirect message aimed squarely at Angela Deem. No names were mentioned, no accusations were made, but the meaning was crystal clear. He's done caring. Fans immediately flooded social media with praise, calling the post iconic, liberating, and long overdue. Many recognized it as a powerful signal that Angela no longer holds emotional power over him. For years, Angela forced Michael to stay off social media, claiming it was about trust and fidelity, but many fans now believe there was another motive. She didn't want Michael to see the overwhelming number of viewers calling out her abusive behavior. Once Michael regained control of his online presence, everything changed. He saw the support, he saw the belief, he saw the truth. Fans rallied behind him, even organizing GoFundMe donations to help him rebuild his life. While Angela attempted to shame him for allegedly misusing the funds or accused him of moving on too quickly, supporters didn't care. To them, Michael had earned every ounce of help after years of emotional suffering. Michael's recent Instagram activity reflects a man who is peaceful but no longer passive. He shares gratitude, motivation, and optimism, but he also isn't afraid to acknowledge the pain he endured, and fans are here for it. Michael now appears confident that Angela no longer has power over him, legally, emotionally, or immigration-wise. The threats that once terrified him no longer carry weight. He stands secure in his status, his future, and his sense of self. America is no longer just a destination, it is his home. As 2024 draws to a close, Michael Ilasami stands as a completely transformed man. He is no longer apologizing for existing, he is no longer begging for approval, and he is no longer trapped in fear. 90 Day Fiancé's Michael Ilasami reveals ruthless message for Angela Deem as he celebrates his second Christmas in America. Michael from Nigeria has been in the U.S. since December 2023. Michael currently seems to be living in Houston, Texas, all by himself in a cozy contemporary apartment. He lived with Angela in her small town of Hazelhurst with her 2 daughters, Scotty and Skyla Deem, and their 6 children. However, Michael accused Angela of cruel treatment before going missing from her house. In December 2024, Michael already has plans to celebrate Christmas in a big way with the friends he considers his new family, and he's already looking ahead to 2025. Michael is now sharing what he wishes to do in 2025. He posted an interesting reel on his Instagram stories with an indirect jab at his ex. The post by @WomenInspireChange features Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Elaine can be seen making a toast during a Peterman Company party during the Little Kicks episode from 1996. She says, "Here's to those who wish us well and those who don't can go to hell," before bursting out in a laugh. Elaine's quote seems to have resonated with Michael, who posted this as a ruthless message to his ex. Michael is most grateful for his fans in 2024 who have his back whenever Angela has wronged him. He might not have known the extent of his popularity when he was asked to stay away from social media by his estranged wife. Angela claimed it was because she didn't want Michael to cheat on her, but she might have also done that so he couldn't read comments from fans bashing Angela for being abusive towards Michael. Michael only wishes the best to his fans who have supported him through thick and thin, and don't get bothered when Angela tries to spread rumors about him being a scammer. They don't care that Michael might have purchased a car with the GoFundMe money they gave him, or that he has a girlfriend in America. Fans want him to be happy, as he deserves all the happiness after escaping a toxic relationship. Meanwhile, Michael is subtly telling Angela about what he thinks of her now that she no longer controls him. Michael always likes to spread positive vibes using his content. However, he can also be snarky when he wants to. Michael has been sharing passive-aggressive posts on his Instagram stories for a while now, and they always seem to be taking jabs at Angela. He is confident that she can do him no harm now, and especially can't get him deported. America is his home now and will be after 2024, even if his 90-day fiancé happily ever after ex wishes the worst for him.